The following is a live presentation of CBC Sports.
Day 3 of the Canadian Mixed Doubles Championship starts now. A one-time champion, Kim and Wayne Tuck, aim to even their record against an upstart team from Edmonton, Alberta. Danielle Schmiemann and Jason Ginter, 3-0. The game is next.
You got a taste of it, and now you're wanting more, more, more. You know we never quit. I'm coming back for more, more, more. You really blow my mind. You give me everything. I want it one more time, yeah, like that. You give me everything.
Beautiful day here so far in Fredericton, New Brunswick. We are expecting a bit of a storm to roll in, though, at some point today, but the locals taking advantage of the first day of spring here at Willie O'Ree Place as we roll on in our coverage of the 2019 Canadian Mixed Doubles Championship. Got a good one for you today. Kim and Wayne Tuck put their 1-2 record on the line against Danielle Schmiemann and Jason Ginter, who are off to a 3-0 start. Hi, everybody. Once again, my name is Matt Cullen, alongside Kyle Jans, Curling Canada Communications Manager. Kyle, great to join you again. Let's start here with Kim and Wayne Tuck, who won this championship back in 2014. They always seem to be in the hunt, and they're always entertaining to watch.
Absolutely. They're a great pair when it comes to mixed doubles to watch on the ice, and they have little room for error at this point now with already 2 losses. They really need to essentially run the table. Maybe 3 might be close to that playoff picture, but they have little room for error right now.
They do have some veteran experience, though, with that Canadian Mixed Doubles Championship. On the other hand, a younger duo out of Edmonton, Danielle Schmiemann, Jason Ginter, both are fresh off an appearance at the 2019 Winter Universiade in Russia, so they're an upcoming team. And look at this, a 3-0 start.
Absolutely, and there always seem to be teams at this event that come out of the blue and surprise you, and I really think that this is going to be a pair to watch as we get closer on into the weekend here to see how they do come playoffs.
And there is some familiarity between these two teams. At the 2017 Mixed Doubles Canadian Championship, these two played in a tiebreaker, and it was a 4-3 win for Team Tuck. The rivalry renews again, and it starts now. Well, Kim and Wayne Tuck been around the curling world for a long time and are, of course, very generous with their time. And on the left is Ava McKinley, who's part of the Future Stars program here in Fredericton out of the Capital Winter Club. And Ava has a great chance to shadow a 2014 Canadian Mixed Doubles team, the champions, Team Tuck, and great experience for her, Kyle.
It's a lot of fun for these young athletes to get the chance to interact with all of these big-name curlers here. You see the big names here, of course, John Morris, an Olympic champion. You have world champions. You have everyone here, so it's a great way to connect with the community.
And of course, we've been previewing this for a little while. Great to have Devin Haru along with us for this broadcast, CBC's curling correspondent. Devin does everything except live at his own apartment in Toronto. He's always on the road. He's always breaking news stories. And Devin, welcome aboard. I understand the lines of social media will be open for this one.
They are open. It's great to be with both of you here in the booth. And I'm taking your questions throughout. Of course, we have a great game to be watching here. But I'll chime in when I can with some colors and some tweets throughout the game.
And Devin, I understand that you've been a busy man this morning breaking a new story.
Just about an hour ago, off the phone with Mark Kennedy and Brad Jacobs, announcing that Mark Kennedy is going to be coming out of retirement, of course, taking a year off. He's going to step in the place of Ryan Fry, and what a team that becomes very quickly, of course, winning the Canada Cup title as that team when Ryan stepped away. So pay attention to that. The story is now on cbcsports.ca.
Danielle Schmiemann leads things off, a 3-time medalist at the university level. A pair of gold medals there, as well as the bronze.
Mine's good.
Coming down a bit.
Danielle also a national junior champion in 2015 with Kelsey Rock.
Hard, hard, hard.
That team, of course, coming out of Alberta, and she's got a great one here right off the bat. Really has a good idea of her draw weight here and putting that right on the pin with little room for error.
And we've seen it time and time again, haven't we? That first rock so crucial. If you get it in the right spot, it makes it very difficult for that opponent.
It really is. We'll have to see how Kim Tuck here is able to respond.
A little warm right now.
Yes, Kim
Wayne.
and Wayne Tuck curl out of the Ilderton Curling Club in southwestern Ontario. Four-time Canadian medalist with her husband Wayne, including the mixed doubles gold medal in 2014. And a couple of silvers and bronze in the mixed fours competition as well. So got a great game here this morning.
Sorry.
It's fine.
Wasn't a great slide. I kind of
Either right to this or right to
So that one
this.
coming out just a little bit heavy there. Doesn't quite get the curl that they were anticipating, especially on this ice that we've seen that is able to swing a lot. So just a little bit much, and now all of a sudden Jason Ginter here rather has the opportunity to put another one in there and really apply some pressure early on, which will be pretty key.
Jason was also a U Sports national champion with the University of Alberta Golden Bears last year, and had a chance to coach that team actually at the Winter Universiade in Russia, because he was 3 months too old of the university age restriction. So he stepped in from a player role on the ice to a coaching role, and now he's happy again to reunite with Danielle. They've been curling mixed together for 3 years.
Perfect spot.
Really great spot from there. Definitely helps with having those two red catchers at the back, because you know that you aren't going to be able to move out those yellows with just one shot here. It's going to take a little bit of maneuvering and some adjusting.
Just on the point of them going to the Universiade to get that experience, what an experience it is. We've talked, and I know, Kyle, you're with Curling Canada. We've talked about these experiences, these international experiences, so young in careers, to just raise the level of game and the pressure. So for these two, really crucial early experience in their career.
Absolutely, and I mean it's a new route to the game where we can see people, the younger players advancing to the Scotties and Tim Hortons Briars, for example. You see Brendan Botcher's team, who represented the University of Alberta, and they were there in the past two Tim Hortons Briars finals. Essentially the same team.
Yep. Okay, Wayne.
Probably on this side this time.
I was thinking play a hit.
Yeah, we can do this too.
You like that?
Okay. You want here?
90.
Sure. You just want nose or you want the roll?
Probably a hair roll.
Okay.
So Wayne just did a pretty good job of removing that top stone there and clearing the path. Now with those three in the back there, not bad position, but we'll have to see what Jason does here. They're aiming to just put another, get the hit here, take a few out of play, and hopefully set two.
Whoa.
Two teams that communicate so well, and I've talked a lot to these curlers about that, how crucial it is in the game about the communication. We're seeing it right here.
Great shot there.
Good.
Yeah, that communication is absolutely key
That was a
when
really
it
good
comes
throw.
to the release, the judgment of weight, even just discussing shots. You got to be able to make sure that you're communicating well, and you have to make sure that you're able to voice your opinion and make sure that it's heard and that you can communicate back and forth. So we're seeing this one again here. Just getting it by the guard, which is exactly what they needed, just to get enough of that top rock to get them all moving.
Former world junior champion as well, Danielle Schmiemann. Just being around the rink for the last couple of days, you hear a lot of good things about her. You see a lot of
Seems like a little
competitors
more,
say,
Okay.
Danielle
Off the
Schmiemann,
line.
that is a
Got
name
nothing.
to know going forward.
And to add to that, in the hotel restaurant last night, Brennan Botcher telling me the exact same thing. Pay attention
one of the yellow ones out
to
there.
Danielle.
That's where all the good stuff happens,
That
right, Devin?
is where I get all of my stories.
Okay.
Top button.
Kim and Wayne have a 1-2 record coming into this game.
That one didn't finish.
That being said, they have been
got this.
happy with the way things have gone so far.
Or it seemed like
Take a
Said
hair less ice than you had.
2 shots, essentially. If 2 shots would have gone a bit differently, they would be 3-0. So.
And isn't that the mixed doubles game? I mean, 1 second you think you're in a perfect position, and then in one rock everything can change. And talking to these players this week, it's sort of what they love about the game and what they hate about the game, because you can never feel comfortable in a situation.
Yeah, hold the line.
14-3, the back one should be
Hard,
a
hold
bit.
the line.
So you want to get it off the
A lot. Not a bit.
Okay. Good.
Very good shot there from Jason as well. They're sitting 1, 2, and 3, and now the Tucks will have to make a throw here to eliminate some. It's amazing how fast you can see just the composition of the house shift. We were looking at, of course, 3 of those red stones all in the back 4 there, and just slowly but surely you can see it shift into the favor of Danielle and Jason here.
Oh, here, let me put my grip around it. Just look great.
Or normal weight. It's got to curl a little bit at the guard.
Kyle, you can probably talk about this a little more. You've curled a lot more recently than I have, but just about when these players are settling in the hack, finding that spot at the end of the rink and picking a line and committing to that. You saw Wayne take a little bit of extra time there to make sure he knew. Pretty good result there, but where he was throwing it, this is a different game. You have to be able to hit your target without the broom. Curlers so often get so accustomed to throwing at the broom. How do you realign where you're picking your spots on the ice? That's a big part of this as well.
It really is, and it's the communication of making sure that not only you know where you're throwing it, but also where your sweepers knows where it is as well. But it's definitely a bit of an imagination where you got to really visualize the shot and see it. The nice thing about when it does come to these curlers, a lot of them are practicing sometimes without having a broom necessarily down at the other end, so they do have just a great visualization, and they can kind of see what they're going, what they have ahead of time. But for younger curlers who are developing, it is a good skill to be able to learn.
And the ends go quickly as well. This is already the last rock here for the Edmonton duo, Schmiemann and Ginter.
Okay, you can go. Line's good. Room.
Okay, weight's close.
Room.
Top 4.
Has to curl.
Top 8.
Has to curl.
I know. Weight's good. Top 4.
Has to curl.
Touch hot.
If you can, Jay. Yep, it's going hard.
Just trying to carve it over.
Hard.
Good shot.
That's a great shot.
Great shot. Looks like they are 1, 2, and 3 there, all in line nicely, all clustered in. It's going to be hard to work those angles.
And hasn't this ice been perfect all week? I mean, we look at it, and then it just, you get the right weight, and it cuts right at the hog line, and we see it right here.
Hard.
Good shot.
Great work from Greggy Wasco and his crew here all week long, both this pad of ice as well as over on the other side. Excellent movement. It's given the curlers great opportunities to make some amazing shots, and that's really what we love to see.
Specifically in mixed doubles, when you're playing so many finesse shots.
Exactly. You got to work those angles so well, and you need to have a sheet of ice that you can trust and know that when you release it, that you know exactly what it's going to do. That being said, you also have to make sure that you're able to work the rotation well, so that's because with a sheet of ice like this, where it does cut, could overcurl very easily as well. So the Tucks here look like they're going to be playing a bit of a tap here on that rock that is in the top 4. Taking ice near the edge of the 12 there, just giving you an idea of how much it
Be
curls.
close.
Okay, line's good.
Maybe a hair quiet.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yep.
Weight's good.
Yep.
Last stone here in the
Quiet.
first.
Gotta go.
Facing 3 here, the Tucks. Need this rock. It's going to be close.
Oh, good shot.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's about as good as you could get, I think, in that shot there.
Looks like a steal of 1 for the Edmonton duo, Danielle Schmiemann and Jason Ginter. Well played first end. Steal is on the board. Well, we always love meeting these two teams. Here are Kim and Wayne Tuck from Ilderton, Ontario.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Tuck,
And I'm Wayne Tuck.
and we make a good couple because I make all the decisions.
Right or wrong? Yes.
Hi, I'm Danielle Schmiemann,
And I'm Jason Ginter. We represent the Saville Community Sports Center in Edmonton, Alberta.
and we make a good mixed doubles team because we all know blondes have the most fun.
Oh, wow. Throwing it out there. Well, they've had a lot of fun so far. They're off to a 3-0 start, so some big smiles from them, and big steal and number one.
Big Steel, love the personalities. Of course, Kim and Wayne Tuck, so fun to watch in this mixed doubles game. I had a great conversation with them before the game. I said, I want a little bit of drama. Kim looks at me and she says, if things go sideways, you'll get the drama. So pay attention to that as this game goes on.
Top four. Team.
Line's good. You can go if you have to.
It's gliding a bit now. Back four.
Line's really good. Over curling if anything.
Again, just that
Hard,
constant
hard, hard.
communication here and a great scrub. A little bit of an over curl, as Danielle had just indicated. It's not quite locking it on here, and that could be a good opportunity here for the Tucks.
Should went just a hair earlier on it.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I might.
It's also worth pointing out Jason and Danielle took part in the Next Gen program that Curling Canada has established.
Yeah, that's an amazing program that has been
Line's okay.
started recently, and you've
Where?
been seeing a
Should
lot
be
of
out there,
amazing
bumpy.
curlers
Oh,
come out of it.
heavy.
Tyler Tardy and Desiree Hawes, who are actually in this field here, they qualified for
Yeah,
this
yeah. Really
event
starting to curl,
through
like,
a
really.
Next Gen mixed doubles tournament that was hosted at the same time
Okay.
as the Home Hardware Canada Cup earlier this season.
Sorry.
All about getting these younger players the experience that they need to thrive, because these are the future stars. These are the ones who we're going to be looking at from 2022 onwards. Absolutely.
And you better believe in this mixed doubles discipline specifically, there are going to be young curlers who only specialize in this discipline.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to that as well. We're seeing still a lot of curlers who will bounce it out, but I think as we get more into this sport here, the kids who do watch it are going to grow up wanting to do this maybe instead of the traditional mixed
Yeah, right
force
there.
game. See, for example, when we
line is
see
heavy.
these young kids who are coming out as
Back
the
to
future
eight.
stars and getting to
No.
interact with these teams at this level, super important to be able to encourage them to be able to pursue their dreams to another avenue to win an Olympic gold medal for a
Bad read.
curler.
Sorry, Danielle.
Well, Devin, I know you have the social media lines open here from our fans all across
Yeah, I thought.
Canada and even the world in this great
thought you
game.
were
You have a
good. I thought
tremendous
you said
following
line
and some
was-
questions here already.
Yes, they want to know what Johnny Morris is up to.
That was.
Well,
This
Johnny,
has been a question I've been
Yeah,
getting a
questions
lot
and
recently because, of course, of what happened in Pyeongchang 1 year ago with John Morris and Caitlin Laws. And so John Morris and I had a lengthy conversation last night. I asked him a lot, and
at the
he's-
hotel restaurant.
No, it was actually here at the arena.
Okay.
But he was still as candid as ever. And he revealed to me that he doesn't believe that he will play
Line, hard line.
in the four-man
Little
discipline
heavy. Whoa.
ever again in his career, that
Whoa,
he's
line's
going
good.
to
Whoa,
be
whoa, whoa.
stepping away
By the
from
way.
that unless a golden opportunity arises. But he says, look, mixed doubles has sort of allowed
that's
me
good.
to get back into the sport and remind me of why I got into it in the first place, which is
Either to
having
the
some
top
fun.
one or to
It's
the
a bit
back
of a
one.
different
Probably to the top
atmosphere.
one is better.
It's two players. He is so competitive, so when he can really sink in to that team bond like he has with Caitlin Laws, he can really get a lot out of it. So John Morris sees going another Olympic cycle,
Yep.
but he sees it in the mixed double discipline. Here he is. He's here. They're undefeated. And he's curling with Jolene Campbell, a somewhat unknown curler out of Saskatchewan, someone John Morris has gotten to know really well this year.
They're 3-0.
They're 3-0, undefeated, having a lot of fun. I think we'll see John Morris around the game for a lot of years to come. Just in a different capacity. He's won at every level. He's won everything you could possibly win. And he's now having a lot of fun. And he's a new dad. So that's a different perspective as well.
Yeah, actually 1 year ago he was unable to compete in the mixed doubles championships because of the birth,
Sorry.
of course, of their new child. So exciting, 1 year
quite
old,
quick.
right around this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Devin, I think that's a
missed the
great
guard by,
point.
like,
He's won it all. He's done everything that he can in that mixed, or in the traditional fours game. And you can ask any curler at that level to be able to become the best team in the world. It's a grind, and you have to give up so many sacrifices, and that's something that he has done for so long already that he's at the point now where he's ready to focus on family and still be able to enjoy the game, like you said, in this new sense.
Something Mark Kennedy just told me an hour ago in our phone conversation as well. He said, my hip has been so bad, I take 1 year off. I'm not sliding 30, 40 times a day. It's amazing what happens to the body when you step away from that wear and tear.
Lots of action here in the forefoot, but it's all behind the tee line for the most part. So there's still an opportunity here for either team to really get in here and lock one in.
Almost seems to me like in this end they've been a little caught off guard on that sliding path on this side of the sheet.
Yeah,
Just overthrowing it and taking a little bit too much ice. You know they're going to figure that out, but that path fooling both teams right now.
Nose on the yellow or a hair low,
Okay,
I
I
think.
think I'll give you the same weight, and if
Yeah.
we just sweep it a little less at the
Yeah.
beginning, it should have good line.
Yeah.
Ginter, originally from Dawson Creek in northern BC. He was recently taking a
Similar weights?
Master of Coaching degree at the University of Alberta, just wrapping that up.
Okay, line's getting better.
Weight's good.
Line's good.
Says he's always good for a good
Gotta go.
dad
go then.
joke,
Yeah,
even
yeah,
if
we'll
the
finish it.
team doesn't want
Gotta
one.
go.
Yeah, finish. I'll help you.
Light.
Keep an eye out for that.
Anything to make the team laugh in a high pressure situation. There always seems to be that person on a curling team.
You really need that at times, absolutely. That's a great shot here by him as well, locking that on. Looks like they're definitely shot stone. Don't know about second, but that was exactly what they wanted to do.
Yeah, that's probably better. Gotta go.
Yeah, finish
Another
off.
look.
Light.
Good teamwork.
Jason getting in on the sweep there because they know as it gets to that hog line, it really cuts in.
And dare I say, it's looking like a rather messy house.
Yes, you are correct, my friend. Just how we like it in mixed doubles.
Have like a quarter Gatorade and all water. It's really funny.
All right, let's make it.
This is a big shot in this end.
This will be very important here. They need to clear something out.
Nope.
Going to be close on this yellow here.
Curl a hair more.
Just enough to get past.
Sit. Okay, that's good, Wayne.
He's throwing that up, Wade, and it's not, didn't quite get the curl that they anticipated. But not a bad result in the end, eliminating a couple in the back. And now there's just that little extra portion of the button that you're going to be able to play with.
Well, if we could ever tap this.
You almost took the top one.
Well, it must be. And that's not good, right?
If we're shot, we don't have to move it.
Yeah, but if we do move it, then they can't tap it again, right?
Yeah, that's true. Do you like moving it?
Like they don't have a shot for two, I don't think.
What's
right
their
now.
shot for one? This?
That would be their shot for
Okay,
one.
then we probably just guard it. Right?
Yeah, just guard it.
To me, this is the best part of the mixed doubles discipline right here. You know, sometimes you want to make that shot so good, but at the same time, you don't want to leave your
Well, I wanna be
opponent
tight.
something for a big score, right? So they like the angles right now. They're deciding on throwing that guard, but it's that risk reward that I love about the mixed doubles discipline.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
And they
Danielle,
were
this
looking
might
at that
require a
ability
little
of
bit
maybe
of-
tapping up, but they aren't going to get second shot out of it. And if they're pretty secure in being shot right now, they're in a good position to be able to play it safe here.
Weight's there,
Okay,
lots of weight.
that should be good line.
Top 12.
Okay, line's
Tight,
good.
weight's getting better.
Does not need to curl.
Okay, weight's fine. Top 12.
Actually, you could probably
Tight.
finish
This
it
has
a
got to
bit.
move,
Tight.
doesn't it?
Finish! Hard! 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 Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Nice.
And move it did. Jason switching to the other side there to be able to just push it over. does a great job of putting it top 12, which is exactly where they wanted it.
Like back four, right?
Well,
That is such a difficult guard to throw. I mean,
Like their shot now, you can
Danielle
go
was
forward weight.
taking
You're
what,
not gonna hurt
outside
yourself. You're never
12-foot
gonna
ice for that guard,
Whatever.
and to be so patient, and then at the hog line
I
for
think
it to
half
make
weight
that
easier to
late
control than
movement.
back
That was
four.
really brilliant communication.
And a great team shot all in all. The risk, of course, like you do need it at that top 12 and just like very close to the house, because you go up any higher and that's going to be a little bit easier for Kim and Wayne to just come around and be able to tap that up. But now it's forcing them to play the other side here.
Well, another key rock coming up here for Kim Tuck. That's close. Shot rock in there.
Very close.
Yeah,
What it looks like they're going to play here is just a punch over their red one just a little bit to the side.
Try and avoid another potential steal.
Yep. Yep.
This is going to be tight line the whole way.
Yep.
Little
Whoa.
warm.
Whoa, whoa.
Little
whoa,
warm.
Whoa. Whoa, off. Okay.
Final stone in the second. Is it enough?
I don't know. That's as best as you could do.
Hard look at this.
Did you hear that?
Sure.
Measure for the drama.
I mean, if it wasn't there, it wasn't there. Like, you hit it the best you could do.
It's close, isn't it?
We're gonna measure.
I'll measure it, I guess.
Well, we
guys
have
okay
our
with
first
measuring?
measurement here of the day.
Yeah, we already called for it.
Okay, good.
I think it's only yellow by that much.
Might be like a wish measure, but
A wish measure.
did it hit a little thinner?
We have seen a few
hit
of
it where-
those. But you should always put that measuring stick down if you think
hit
it's
it anywhere
close. You
above there.
never know.
Here we go.
Dramatic. Could you believe during the Brier when we saw that tie?
Unreal. You don't see that very often.
All right. Yeah.
Gotta
We're going
get
to take
the,
a look. Yeah,
Our umpire
exactly.
to shuffle around here.
It's just adding to the suspense. Always a great debate over whether it should be the umpire or the players doing the measuring, a conversation I had a number of times during the Scotties in the Brier, but of course here we see it. We get a good look at it. There it is.
All right, everybody's on the same page here.
Oh boy.
Oh, right. Well, that yellow rock is going to count for Schmiemann and Ginter. And another steal of one. Dramatics at its finest. 2-0 after 2. If you're just joining us here, our mixed doubles coverage in Fredericton, New Brunswick, here's what you need to know. 5 stones per team per end. There are those pre-positioned stones as well. 1 center guard, 1 right behind the button. Team that has hammer has their stone right behind the button. That'll be Team Tuck throwing the reds here in this third end. Player 1 handles the first and last rocks, and we do have a power play situation that we will get to later on in the game. Each team has one of those.
Which good?
Good start here for the team out of the Saville
Mine's
Community
good.
Sports Center in
heavy?
Edmonton.
Well then,
Pair of steals.
can't be heavy
Pair
on
of
this
steals
line.
there,
Okay,
and
go ahead.
you know, Kim, I think
Really coming down now.
I agree with Wayne.
Mine's
She
good.
made that shot about as best
Mine's
as
good.
she was going to be able to there, and it just
No
might not have
bounds
been
on
there.
this
She wouldn't
line.
have been able to punch over hers enough
Mine's
just
good,
to get it.
mine's good.
Would have had to hit it a little bit thinner, but you needed that weight as well.
And so this is a game, isn't it? Kim Tuck makes 2 perfect last rocks and gives up 2 steals.
It's the
But
frustration of
right?
mixed doubles.
But she's done as good as she could in both situations. So they're going to have to try and find a way in this third end here to just get the angles, just get on the other side of the inch in this game, because they've been on the wrong side of it in the first 2 ends.
Well, that last rock from Kim in the first was a big one because they were facing 3, and the steal of 1 is a small victory there. Leaves them in the game. But you're right, they do need to score at some point here, down 2-0.
It's so important just to have that composure when you are throwing that final rock as well. I was talking to Laura Walker and Kirk Myers just yesterday, and they were talking about what they believe makes them a good team, and it's the fact that they're both skips and they're consistently throwing draws to the forefoot or having to make those pressure shots in order to win a game. But at the same time, they also come from different positions, so they do have the ability of being able to sweep, which is also a huge factor in this game.
Just to that point, what I found fascinating in my conversation with John Morris last year is we look at him on the other sheet and you can see a layer of sweat on his back from sweeping as he leans on a rock on the other sheet. But he told me one of the reasons why he was so good at this game is because when he used to practice with Kevin Martin used to make them sweep all of their own rocks. So little did John Morris know that his entire career with Kevin Martin, he was actually practicing to become a mixed doubles specialist.
I love it. Interesting. I had no idea about that.
Absolutely. And it is such a skill, right, to be able to get up, know that weight control, know the line. It's a different perspective when you're throwing your own rock, getting up and sweeping it. A skill I think a lot of players are learning to develop as well now.
Absolutely, and there's all different methods of it as well. You've seen players like Kyle Deering and Reed Carruthers who come out with the crutch, and so they have to switch over as they're getting up to pick up the broom along the way. And I compared it yesterday to almost like it's like a follow-through when you are shooting a free throw in basketball. If you're not following through with your release and you're focusing on getting up right away to go sweep, it's going to impact your line of delivery. It's going to impact your rock in general.
One question coming in from Toronto, William Ives. Question for you, Devin. You're around the game a lot. Do you prefer covering the mixed doubles format or the traditional curling?
Oh boy, I better be careful.
That's a tough one.
Look, I think both. I'm gonna take the easy way out. I think both have some really great aspects to it. From a purely entertaining and time on return value, mixed doubles is really spectacular. There's high drama every end. So if you're somebody that has a short attention span and likes the drama, I think sometimes the mixed doubles game can keep you really engaged, because what a lot of these curlers will tell you is every rock matters. It's 8 ends, it's fast pace, and it can change in a hurry. On the other side of it, I love a really good 10-end traditional game. I mean, some of those games at the Scotties and the Briar, just heart-stopping stuff. So, yes. I could vouch for both disciplines, because the reality of it is a level of curling in this country has hit a completely sort of different stratosphere, and to be able to have a front row seat to it, travel across this country, meet people across this country, and watch really great curling is an awesome pleasure. Hopefully I sold it. Both.
That was pretty good. And Kyle, I'll save you the phone call from your boss as your role Curling Canada. It's pretty tough for you to take one side or the other, but you're around a lot and do a terrific job. It's great to have your insight here on the broadcast.
Both disciplines have absolute value. I love what mixed doubles here is doing for the game, and being able to make just a new avenue so that curlers are able to pursue those Olympic dreams is super critical.
And not only that, it also allows other country, it allows the games, the game to grow, because the reality of it is you only need 2 players now. So, for example, you have the World Mixed Doubles Championship coming up in Norway, 48 countries, playing in that. A team from Kosovo is going to be there. A Canadian over there starting a team, and now they're going to compete for the first time. That's a direct example.
That sounds like a story you need to look into a little more, my friend.
I might be writing it already.
Okay.
Yeah, it's absolutely fascinating what it does to allow some of those smaller countries that aren't able to put together that 4-person team. And earlier on, when mixed doubles in the World Championships just started as well, we've seen teams like Hungary who have succeeded and winning medals, and so you don't get to see that otherwise.
Well, here's that good communication. Wayne to Kim, and a good shot.
And we talked about the fact that they needed to get those angles working to their advantage at the start of this third end. So far, so good as we get down to 2 rocks for both sides. But it's looking good right now for the Tucks, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a really important rock for them to remove, because otherwise Schmiemann and Ginter were going to have a chance to run that one back into the pile and could actually probably remove both those 2 red counters there. So that was a really important shot there.
Maybe stick with weight, but I don't know if that's really necessary. Like, if we get the top 3, that's really good.
Yeah. I think throw weight like at this. Or what do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as you can.
Okay.
Try and get a couple.
I got like 3/4.
Yeah, okay.
Well, an interesting situation now for Schmiemann and Ginter. Haven't really faced a lot of red in the house here in this game. And still Team Tuck with the hammer.
Have to get some granite moving here, don't they?
There's a look through the eyes of Ginter at this house.
No. No, no, no.
The back one, back one.
Well, it does take out a couple of reds.
You know, I was just going to say before Jason got ready to throw that rock that you get, I've seen it so many times where you want to play the up weight and you get excited about throwing that big weight, but in some of these spots, it'll just hang right there. As we take a look at it, it didn't move, and he knew it as soon as he let it go.
Yeah, there was definitely an opportunity to be able to get that one that he was driving forward to get moving as well, but instead it stays nicely tucked behind the center guard.
I mean, thicker we would have got our yellow, but I don't know if we would have killed the back red.
Before Wayne gets ready to throw this, another quick question from somebody tuning in. Jonathan asks about single tickets for the games here this weekend, thinking of driving up from St. John. And Jonathan, we can tell you that there are single tickets available right at the door. So a lot of tickets to be had, and a great front row seat to some elite mixed doubles curling.
Come on up. That's my advice.
Back 8. Back 8.
Always a great opportunity to meet a lot of these athletes in person as well. They're always very happy to meet with the fans after their games.
Back 4. Back 4.
Yep. Hard. Right to it. Hard.
Get it. Sit. Good, Wayne.
Great shot by Wayne there.
Good brush.
Okay, thank you.
Don't like that. Well, yeah, come right back to it.
That cuts out
Okay.
4 and 5.
The other option is you just try to stick it.
That's still a draw for 3.
Well, I was a
Well,
little
unless
light
you
on
can
you.
come across it.
Thought you were back 8, but you were in
Smarten up.
just back.
Can't make a shot. You don't give me the right way call.
I think I should be able to.
Tough
No,
job.
I know I should be able to get. Back 4.
Well,
back
Kim
8.
said she's always right on the calls, right? When we met the teams, and back and forth they went. Here, take a listen.
Whoa.
Back 4. Back 4.
Yep. Hard. Right to it. Hard.
Get it.
There we go.
Good, Wayne.
Wayne's not a shy guy.
I'll just give it a good release. It'll finish, so.
These two are fantastic.
Okay, I'm not going to change the weight much.
This is a big shot in this end, in this game, of course. After back-to-back steals, Daniela's been good, but this is a real first pressure she's facing in this game.
Absolutely. If they can't get one in here, the Tucks can be set up to definitely have a draw or a shot for a couple here and really get that momentum back in their favor.
Wait's close.
If you can, line.
Wait's close.
Line. Yeah, line.
Wait's good.
Yes, line.
Light.
Hard.
Gonna really have to go on this one now.
Hard.
Enough to get past the yellow? Yes.
How good is that?
Wow.
Okay.
Amazing shot.
I don't want to play weight at it.
That's a workout for Jason. He hammered that one from hog line to tee line, didn't he?
Just hack. I like hack. I like hack.
Yeah, line.
It's good.
Yes, line.
Light.
Well, the Dawson Creek, BC native going to work on this one, and this was close.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been by without the sweep there.
I still think Kim has a shot for a big score here. Just kind of a back four, back eight tap. This is all about, well, I mean, it's about line and weight here. You got to get both of those things dialed in right now.
Yeah.
So it sounds like she'll be playing hack weight here, and that will be able to get the rock moving, absolutely, but it's a very precise shot.
Third time in this game that Kim has thrown the last stone.
Whoa. Whoa, close.
This time a chance for a big score.
Whoa, curl. Curl. There it goes. A little more. More. Okay, good try.
Wayne trying to get it to go, but it is not going to be enough, and it's another steal for Schmiemann and Ginter, who have made things tricky on that last stone. Got a good one on sheet C. 3-0. Here's a look at our standings so far, as this is draw number 10, getting into the interesting part of the round robin. So look at our Pool A top four. Again, a reminder, the top two teams automatically make the quarterfinal. Jocelyn Peterman, Brent Gallant, the only undefeated team there. Here's our defending champions from last year, Laura Walker, Kirk Myers, picking up right where they left off, a 4-0 start. New duo there of Shannon Burchard, Caitlin Schneider, also with a strong start. There's our finalists from last year, Kadriana Sahida, Colton Lott, 3-0. The young duo continuing to get it done. How about Nancy Martin, the veteran, with Tyrell Griffith? That's a good young duo as well, and relatively new team together. And then our defending Olympic gold medalist from mixed doubles in Pyeongchang, John Morris, teaming up with Saskatchewan native Jolene Campbell. But there we are. There we see Schmiemann and Ginter also with that 3-0 mark. Now, the way the format works, top two in each of the four pools automatically head into the quarterfinals. The eight best teams remaining have to fight it out in a playoff game, and we will have that for you on CBC television. That one on Saturday, and then the quarterfinals are on Saturday night. So lots of great curling to look forward to, and a lot of great teams here, gentlemen. Not enough room for everybody, and that's the unfortunate part.
And some familiar, very familiar names at the top of those standings.
A lot of past world champions when it comes to traditional curling, Canadian mixed doubles championships, of course.
Where?
But as both of you know, Canada gunning for a first gold medal at the mixed doubles world championships. Been a couple of close finishes. The Olympic gold, of course, is some bragging rights for Canada, but I'm sure the gold medal at the Worlds would mean a lot this year for whoever comes out of this tournament.
It'll be a historic moment, absolutely, to be able to win that first gold medal there at the World Championships. And this field is just so strong. We're confident that whoever comes out of this field is going to be very well prepared to make a very good run out in Norway.
Back four. We don't have to move. I don't want to move it very far.
I think it's a little jarring to some Canadian curling fans when they hear that Canada has never won a mixed doubles world championship, but you have to remember that there was a time where it wasn't as profiled like we talked about as in some of the other countries. And so talking to Kirk Myers and Laura Walker, of course, they were there last year, lose the heartbreaker in the semifinal to Switzerland and then rebound to win the bronze, but they so badly want to get back there, and I think that's sort of the perspective of a lot of elite curlers in the country now. They're taking it personally, right?
Absolutely.
As they always do when they go to an international event.
Yes, once it became an official Olympic sport, you really noticed a shift in the attitude that a lot of curlers had about it. Devin, you were in Portage La Prairie last year for the Olympic trials and seeing a lot of bigger names there. Brad Gushu being among them, who had almost made it to that amazing game there. But you know, you see a lot of these big name teams now who are taking it very seriously, and I think a lot of credit goes to Jeff Stoughton, who really helped develop the sport initially when it was just getting started out, to make it this amazing program and really get these athletes the conditions and this opportunity to compete and remain competitive and gain that experience.
I think it's also worth pointing out here in the fourth end is Wayne scrubs the bottom of that brand new granite, that they were actually the couple, Kim and Wayne, who prepared these rocks, this new set of rocks for this mixed doubles curling championship. Of course, Wayne and Kim working at Canada Curling Stone, just out of London, Ontario. That's where these curling rocks come from, sent over from Treffer, Wales. 2 spots in the world where curling granite comes from, one in Scotland, one in Wales. The company here in Canada uses a Treffer granite. The rocks you're seeing here just purchased by Curling Canada, and I said to Wayne and Kim, I will have none of complaining regarding the stones today. And of course they laughed because they said, no doubt, we prepared these rocks.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Did a great story on that, Devin. I know that's
I don't want, like,
one of your many so far, cbcsports.ca.
Yeah, we can play the back 8 tap.
Yeah. Yeah, the same is fine, no more.
Give less ice.
So what Schmiemann and Ginter are hoping to do here is
Line
get a little bit of a hit and roll over.
Line's tight. Hard line.
Playing back house weight.
Hard line. Hard line. Hard, 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 hard.
Slight tap. They wanted to connect with it a little bit more, slightly over curled there. They would have loved to have sat directly behind that center line guard.
Okay. Could have been worse.
Pretty good weight.
Yeah.
Just a little soft hit.
Yeah, soft handle. So it was like my jaw of the button.
Yeah.
I just didn't give it a chance.
Side one, is that what you mean?
A lot of rocks behind the tee line here.
Yeah, and that's just an example of how important that rock placement is there. If that rock had just not rolled quite as far over and was a little more secure, it would have been trouble for the Tucks here.
Just trying to throw a freeze.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Don't want to say there's a level of frustration, but I think after that last end, Kim and Wayne know they've got to make hay right now because they had a big opportunity in that last end to score 3, maybe even 4. So to have that slip away, starting to feel the pressure here a little bit in what is a must-win game for this team right here.
Absolutely. And it's really important for them to be able to just put that behind them and really focus on the next few shots here. They can feel confident knowing that they've been in very close in all their games so far. They just really need to find a way to close these ones out.
For what, 1? Come off of this?
Yeah.
They have
Yeah,
anything
you
with
can
these
probably
guys?
you can probably hit a like what you can see of that and maybe get one that way too.
Yeah. Do they come in like here?
Yeah. I don't mind that. Like I just
we
don't know
could
if I
go
want to
here,
leave
too.
them to come in again there.
Could go right to it.
I think I like that.
Okay, and if we're a little light, we'll play
Yeah.
to over curl a
You
bit.
have to imagine that the mixed doubles game also is a
I think
fast
putting
track
another
in
one
learning the strategy
there
of the
is
game
probably-
Like
because
that
you're
outer
constantly
line
put
better?
in a position
Yes,
of
for
having
this,
to make
yes.
some difficult decisions in real time with the clock ticking down about where you want to put your rock. So I think that's only going to mean good things for Canadian curlers as well, because when you're put in a situation like this, you have to consider a lot of different things on
Speed
where
should
to
be
put
similar
that
in this
granite.
path.
You're presented with so many options, so many positives and negatives associated with every shot. It's just, and yeah, unlike the traditional game where you're going to see a lot of strategic blank ends being played, you do not see that here, and you really have to be able to learn those angles and learn how to really manage a house.
I think I'm light.
Light, yeah.
I think I'm like top 12.
Yeah.
Line's good, can't hurt it.
Top 8.
Line's good.
Top 8.
Take a look, line's good. Curling now.
Top 8. Top
Line's
12.
good.
Top 12.
Hard,
tight.
hard. Far as it goes.
Tight.
Far as it goes.
Just tight.
Okay. Okay.
Lost line, didn't it?
Yeah, lost line, not as much weight as what they would have hoped. They wanted that to be more in the top 8. Now leaves the other side
that path
quite
must have
open
been
there
sitting
for
a
the
while.
Tucks.
Well, they've thrown it
1-6. Stays right there.
times.
Oh, and it probably pops
I
up
thought you
even.
would light it and give it that light.
Well, if you play this,
I think you have to play that one first in order to unlock this one.
yeah, that one probably doesn't go anywhere either, though, right?
It might.
Okay, we
it's
don't
just
have
going to go a little bit.
ton of
Last
time.
time.
Looks like they're going to be playing some big weight shot here on the right side of the sheet. Get some granite moving. Like they said, they have to unlock the angles here to try and get that yellow rock that's sort of welded in their back button. Get that moving at least on this shot.
Absolutely, and that's why the strategy, as you had just mentioned earlier on, you have to think many shots ahead because you're not going to be able to unlock that shot stone just on this one, so you have to figure out a way to get at it in the strategically best way possible.
No.
Another tricky end here for Team
Whoa,
Tuck.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Now down by 3. Where does this finish?
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Absolutely.
In for shot rock.
Is that your last?
Yes, it was. The games go quickly.
Is that your last? That was your
Speeds
last.
by.
Okay, go through.
We could just guard.
Oh, Wayne taking a
Well,
long
can you
look
hit
at
the
that
red
one.
and
Let's listen
let
to
the
Schmiemann
middle
and
red
Ginter
come
here.
off the back?
It'll just happen to here. It might be for 1,
Okay, just
right?
guard
Because
then.
it just kind of sits right into it.
Okay, well, let's
Yeah.
just guard then.
Guard it. Gotta be here.
Okay.
Well, 3 menacing red stones there on the right side of the button, and they're trying to figure out how to limit the damage.
Well, there are the 3 menacing redstones there. They also need to be thinking about those 2 that they have in the forefoot, because if those can be removed, even one of them, then that 3 can turn
Mine
into a
worked pretty
4
hard
or
on
more.
edge of 8 or edge of 12, so gonna have to give it a set.
We saw Jason's guard over curl a second ago. Danielle really going to have to focus on getting out to the wide
tight.
side of the 12-foot here.
Really, if you can.
I think we're a little heavy.
Tried to give it a good set. You keep it out there. Okay, over and off. Off.
Sit.
Over curling.
No.
Good shot.
No.
And can you see enough of it?
That will be the question here.
I mean, there's
I
no.
think that does the trick, Danielle.
It's a hair tight on you.
Okay. You throw firm. Or you play. Or you got the double run this way. But this one you can't hurt yourself because if you hit it hair wide, it hits that one.
Well, then I want to play the one where I can't hurt myself.
What?
I said then I'd like to play the one where I can't hurt myself.
In the boards
Yeah.
then, but that's not fun.
I didn't say that. I just said play this one then.
Yeah.
Where am I hitting it?
Right on the nose.
Okay.
Wow, here's
Well,
a little
those you get
taste
two.
here of the type of discussions Kim and Wayne have on a key last
Go
rock
firm.
here in the 4th.
Okay.
Good
A
exchange.
couple's curling conversation. Big shot, though.
Yeah, it is.
And of course, they're playing this one, like they said, where they're not going to hurt themselves. The danger factor in removing your own stones low here, but you got to be pretty precise to get a multiple score right now.
This could be a disaster.
Yes,
Honey.
it
gotta
could. Where is this going to finish with the Reds? It won't be a disaster. It'll be the one red. It could have been a steal the other way very quickly. One on the board, though, for Team Tuck. We're halfway through. In this draw, 3-1 lead for Schmiemann and Ginter. Here are some updates for you. Sheet A, we have a game between Kate Cameron and Reed Crothers against the two Linscombs from Ilderton, Ontario, an Ontario rival here of the Tucks. 6-3 so far, relatively new duo there. Reed won this championship with Joanne Courtney in 2017. Looking good there, up 6-3. Over on Sheet B, we've got a close one here. Jalen Campbell, John Morris up 4-3 on Kira Brunton, who is fresh off the U Sports women's gold medal with Laurentian University. And here's what we have on Sheet D, team out of Manitoba. Gordon and Kurz up on Team PEI 5-1. O'Connor and Abraham. Here's how we got to where we are. Tucks with the hammer to start things off, but a tricky last shot here from Danielle Schmiemann made it very tough on Kim Tuck.
Absolutely, and just a great sweep here by Jason to really lock that one in, and it just made it very difficult for the Tucks here to get any type of action.
So facing three, Kim manages to just limit the steal to one, made it 1-0. Jump to the third here, now it's 2-0, another steal for Schmiemann and Ginter, and again, Danielle making things tough on Kim.
And if this team goes on to win this game, remember this shot because it might have been a game saver. The Tucks in line to score a lot, and it was a steal after that sensational draw by Danielle.
Made it 3-0 after 3. Tucks do get on the board with that single in the fourth. 3-1 game, relatively low scoring. We just have singles across the board here, gentlemen. Waiting for that one big end, and especially for Schmiemann and Ginter. They've had no trouble scoring so far. 10 points in their first game, 9 in games 2 and 3. So they have a lot of scoring potential, but so do the team out of the Ilderton Curling Club, of course, Team Tuck.
Really good offensive team here.
We're there, we're not light.
Okay, looks tight.
Room. Yeah, line. Line's good.
Wait's good.
Room, whoa!
Wait's good.
Yeah.
Go down.
First time in the game that we see Schmiemann and Ginter with the hammer.
Hard.
And this one is just going to be over curling again.
Okay.
So this is a part of an end where the Tucks can ramp up the pressure. You lock one in here right now, and you set up the whole end.
No, that's absolutely it. You have a really good opportunity here to be able to get those two in there and really take control of the forefoot. And that's such a key when it comes to this mixed doubles discipline.
Make a good one. I don't mind just peeling.
Interesting to hear Jason just now at the tail end of their conversation say, if they make a really good one here, we're going to be peeling. Don't see that too often, do we?
Not very often.
Weight's not bad.
But when you do have the hammer, you do have that opportunity.
Back 4.
Yep.
T.
Yep.
Not a bad move, depending on what happens here.
Whoa, real good.
Well, at the fourth end break, sometimes some conversations are had. I'm noticing a difference here. The Tucks have changed roles. Kim was throwing the last stones 1 and 5. Right now they've made a change.
Just running it in, do anything.
Sometimes switching things up.
Absolutely, it can really shake things up. You see it even in the traditional game where teams might switch to get a little bit more value out of their players here. And sometimes if you have a player that feels like that they're throwing that last stone well, and you want to be able to take advantage of that, that's that opportunity, and you have that ability to do that here in mixed doubles.
And here's a peel right on cue after a really good shot by Kim.
Yeah, we're just peeling. Okay.
That's fine. Thanks.
Guarding is not easy.
Isn't that the truth?
It
today?
really is. So much action in this ice. And you're essentially challenging the Tucks right now to make that. Otherwise, it is going to be a more open end.
Never on that side. You got to go on the other side.
So Wayne communicating, if anything, this one's going to
Heavy
need to be
too.
pushed
Drop
over
12.
into the tee line, or into the center line rather.
Yep, finish it. Yep, 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 yep. Yep.
Now
Okay.
probably trying to freeze one on here.
Okay.
Yeah, a little more weight than I think they anticipated on that one. So trying to go for a plan B, but now those three are lined up with just enough separation that they should be able to get all three moving.
And if he gets lucky, get rid of all three.
It is a possibility.
Yeah.
Hit it right on the high side where that broom
Okay,
is.
that's good then.
And you might split it through the uprights between that yellow gate at the back of the forefoot.
An impressive shot.
Let's watch this one.
Whoa.
Got it?
Close.
Go. Hard. Sit.
Well, Devin, I knew we'd get a football reference in there from you at some point. Of course, your summer job. It is the first day of spring today. Curling season nearing the end, I suppose, but
Got it?
And then CFL football.
yes.
Go. Hard.
Does jam back on their own yellow, but they do get one red as well. Switches things up.
It does open up the house right now, and considering that they do have that last stone advantage here, that's not a bad shot at all. They would have liked more for their yellow to stick around for that, just to outshoot or outcount that one that is biting the 8 there in the back. But overall, really good. Switches up the composition of this end in their favor.
Mine's okay. Where?
I think I might have to go at the end.
Okay, that's fine.
No, it's there.
It's starting to really warp now.
I know it's all there still.
No. Now it's got to pick. Okay. That's fine.
Shoot, I wasn't sure.
That's fine.
Just a bit would be good.
That's the challenge in that they
There's
really
no,
wanted to
like,
be able
25
to put a broom down onto that, but you really had to wait for it to go over,
No, I think
and it
just
just
tap
didn't
it.
quite go over enough. It's
Like
now an
Marky.
opportunity to
This is probably close for that.
split up those pair of stones that were just
It'd be nice to
thrown.
unlock it, but you're never getting it out.
Okay.
Too close
It
together
might
right
just be
now for
easier
any
to
type
make
of
a hit
double
with it.
opportunity.
What?
Might just be easier to hit it, like for the line.
Okay.
Takes a little bit of curl out of the equation,
Okay.
right? Can go in, turn, hit. I think medium, just on the edge of the rock.
Firm.
Hard. Hard.
This rock moving a lot here.
Hard. Okay.
So certainly an opportunity here in the 5th for the Tucks to put some pressure on.
Not bad.
Absolutely taking advantage of that there. If they can put another one in there, they're sitting all right.
Specifically because of what Jason said before he threw that takeout was the curl is a factor. And you certainly wouldn't want to be throwing a high pressure draw knowing that you could lose it in a hurry.
This ice is so tricky. You have to be super precise with
Okay, I'm
it.
freezing to the red or the yellow?
The yellow. In the
Okay.
pocket.
Okay.
So for the first time today, we see Skip Wayne throwing the last stone.
And essentially this is just a throw here to get the force more than anything. A
bad.
force in mixed doubles. A force
it.
single is almost like a victory.
To it.
Whoa. Starting to curl now, but whoa. Yep.
All there.
Okay, well then.
Perfect.
Great shot.
Okay.
Well,
Great
the option to
opportunity.
score 3 was once on the table. Now very tricky.
No, they're going to definitely just go for the force here. That's about all the option that they have there just because of that yellow catcher in the back. 8.
Try.
All in all, a great end played by the Tucks with very little coverage out front.
So here's Danielle's
Mine's
last
good.
rock.
Tight if anything. Yeah, you can go.
And it's a key one facing 2.
Tight and light isn't what you want to hear out of the hand on this ice.
Never is, especially when you know that you have that backing that you're going to be able to use.
You can't hurt it. Can't hurt it.
So Ginter goes to work. Is it enough? And a good sweep. Enough to count the 1. And avoid a steal from Team Tuck. Another point on the board. So far, just singles through 5. A 4-1 lead for Schmiemann and Ginter. Well, our questions continue to roll in. Alongside Devin Haru, CBC curling correspondent, and Kyle Jans, who's the communications manager at Curling Canada. I'm Matt Cullen. One question about the music in mixed doubles here, gentlemen. Well, how did that come about, and do you like it?
It was actually something that was asked a lot. Of course, when at the Olympic trials, the first ever Olympic trials, people are going, why is there music playing in a curling rink? This
Little
isn't
rock and
Yeah,
roll.
this isn't what we're used to. And who gets to pick the playlist? Well, I talked to Jeff Stevna about it, of course, and he said more than anything, it's very simple. We want to break some of the silence
heavy.
because you have half the number of curlers
needs a
across the
curl.
sheets of ice. And it's quiet out there. You don't have
Really
the
needs a
yelling, the
curl.
communication,
My
the
turn.
brooms, all of the ambiance that you have at a traditional event, you don't have at a mixed doubles event. So quite simply, it's to break sort of that silence in the arena.
And
I like it.
I like it too. It gives it a good atmosphere as a fan as well when you're taking it in. And I think maybe one of the other concerns that when it was initially introduced was that it was a distraction to the curlers. But
It is not.
we've seen many rinks that are full of people, and that can be just as much distracting, if not more. These curlers are training for those opportunities, and they're in such a zone that those elements have little impact.
I'm so glad you said that because I actually talked to a number of the curlers at the Scotties and the Briar about hecklers or noise or clapping or whatever else, the wave as we saw
No,
in
it's way out
Brandon
there.
going around the arena. They said most
Not
of the
even close
time
to
we
it.
don't
Back 8.
even know the crowd is there. Because what we
4.
forget is that these people have basically
no
grown up in
line.
front of the bright lights and in arena settings. And so when they get to those
Okay,
situations,
close.
it's as if they're playing in their curling club and everything else around them is sort of on this blurred lensed sort of focus. And they have that laser focus on their sheet, on that broom, on those rocks.
That's what it takes to be a true pro, is to block out all the distractions. So Kim Tuck staying with rocks 2, 3, and 4 here in the sixth end.
Whoa!
Little quiet, Wayne.
Still waiting
go
for
ahead.
the big end
And
in
it-
this game.
Yeah, Matt, and it needs to happen right now here in the sixth. You always want hammer in those even ends in the last
Okay, I don't know.
part of a
Whoa,
game,
whoa, whoa.
6 and 8. If you can get 2, 3 here, and then force in 7, and then score big in 8.
Go of it, okay?
Try and, like,
It's pretty
curl past
pretty
it, like,
textbook
kinda like
curling.
if you
It would
can.
be, absolutely, yeah. There's
Like,
still
just get
that
all the way in
textbook,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of the things that you can apply from the traditional game into this, and that is one of them. You want to maintain that hammer, you want to force when you get that opportunity, and for the Tucks, if they're able to do that and manage to pick up a win in this game, that'll be a huge confidence booster going forward against a team that is undefeated right
Maybe the same
now.
line. I think that line would have been close.
Okay.
Would you call this moving day?
Yeah.
Moving day.
Moving day. Big games here at the Mixed Doubles
Like-
Nationals.
No, I think I'm okay.
Yeah, I felt
Who's a
like
real playoff contender? We'll
That's it.
find out by the end of today.
Starting to see that separation, aren't we?
Line's good. Bit of room. No, line's good.
Yeah, we agreed yesterday that
Can't
the
hurt it,
4
come
and
on.
3 mark is sort of the gray
Gotta go.
area. Can you
Hard.
get in with a tiebreaker? If you have
Hard,
5
hard,
wins
hard,
out
hard.
of 7, you pretty well have a spot in that
good.
playoff game at the very least.
Yeah, the one loss, the teams that go undefeated, they're going to be in good position. That 2, you're going to be on the cusp there, and 3, it's going to
Running it
depend
here,
a lot on
picking
your
it off.
records and your last stone draw to be able to have that opportunity. So any team that does get in through that last opportunity, if there is a tie for those final spots, it is going to rely solely on the last stone draw, which is a really critical part of the game.
Heel
Okay.
or firm or whatever.
Kim throwing a big weight shot here, trying to move those rocks around on the top button and forefoot. In chase mode here in the 6th end, certainly.
Oh dear.
Right out of the hack.
Not sure about that.
If you can catch it, yep. Yep.
I think it's close though.
Hard. Whoa, 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 whoa. Close.
Might work okay. Does jam back though on the Reds.
Oh.
It's close.
And even before
Not buying any lottery tickets today.
the rock was thrown.
I don't care. I don't think it's that much of a jackpot in Frederick anyway. Feel this much more here. Feel all 3.
Probably want to be
It's a really bad slide,
top
too.
button.
So Kim just feeling a
You
little
open both
uneasy
sides
with
up,
that delivery there, possibly
score.
because throwing that
I feel
up
like it's
weight,
like an
but
uphill battle today.
not feeling very lucky right now.
Hearing her say it feels like an uphill battle today.
Similar?
Felt the hair light on my kick, but I think I gave it some.
It can be a cruel game
Mine's a little
sometimes,
wider.
can it?
Yeah.
Cruel, but yet
there right
rewarding,
now.
and they
No.
stick with it
Let it
because of
curl.
those
We're
rewards.
T-line.
Gotta catch, gotta catch.
T-line.
Carve at the end if you can. Yeah, hard. Get it right in there. Right in there. Okay.
Good throw. Good read.
Well, 2 stones to go
Okay.
here for
It's not bad.
Team Tuck.
Just didn't quite take the same.
Just
It was a little more.
heavier.
It's 2 feet more weight.
Yeah.
And is there a double there?
Gave it a bit more on the release. Like, I
Looks
think
like
that
that there
might
is
have
enough
been better.
separation there.
I think if you hit
You
it
gotta
on
throw
the
firm.
high side of that top yellow,
You should be able to spill both, absolutely. Maybe even catch a little bit of that yellow on the other side as well.
she didn't like her slide out of the hack with big weight last time. Let's see what happens here.
No. Curl. Curl a little bit, please. Curl a little more.
Wayne trying to beg and plead with the rock. Look at this, though. Oh, my. Get one out,
Try to
and
blow it out.
they lie 1, I believe.
I'll take
Looks
anything
like one.
today.
Nice result.
Very nice
By look at
result
your
there.
face when I let go of it, I was like, oh no.
Well, no, I knew you were gonna get the double. Curl a little bit, please.
Oh man, are they fun to listen to. So close
Wow.
from being perfect. If that rolls, if that spins another. They needed more action on that rock.
A little more.
Needed to paper it just a little bit more.
I think Wayne was trying to huff and puff this rock out here.
If only
Trying
they
to
knew who
get
made
it
the
to
rocks.
spin, yeah.
That's a great shot there, absolutely. Maybe would have liked it to curl up a little bit more, but they opened up things up now a lot.
Okay, hack is like what, 12 and a half?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Okay, I'm gonna take just inside middle of 8.
You got it.
Danielle and Jason not in the clear just yet. Have to make a good shot here.
He's playing a lightweight hit here, just so that it gets enough movement to come around that center guard.
94% after 4 ends. Hasn't she had a game here
It's
today?
good.
No!
Throwing
finish,
first and
Danielle.
last
Fine.
rocks, too. You're going to do well when you have those sort of numbers.
Clean. Yep. Hard. Hard. Whoa,
Just
whoa,
passed.
whoa.
Good shot.
Great line call there too, waiting for it to move just enough so that they could get that roll right in front of that red there. Great communication.
It was like plan B, plan C maybe. And you know, I always am fascinated by hearing curlers talk about getting the most out of the rock. So what happens when the shot you call doesn't go the way you want it to? You have to be able to adapt on the fly. That's exactly what these two did right there, getting the most out of that last stone.
Here's Wayne's last stone here in the 6th.
Line's good. Line's good.
And the opportunity just for one. Here go the Tucks, though. They've got to hurry. And it is enough.
Go, 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 go.
Looks good to bite on the 4-foot ring.
Thanks.
I'm too old for this. Shot one.
Well, look good on that sweep. Count the 1, and it's a 2-point game again. Late stages here in draw number 8. Have a look on sheet A. This game actually just wrapping up, a 4 for Team Cameron and Crothers. So they beat the Linscombs, Catherine and Chris, 11-4. So the good start for Reed and Kate continues now at 3-1. Here's a look at what's happening on sheet B. Heads up on the upset alert here. The 1 and 2 team out of Sudbury, Brunton and Leonard up 5-4. That one after 5. Over Jolene Campbell and John Morris. A quick update. That one now tied up at 5 with a single from Johnny Moe and Jolene. And here is sheet D, 6-3 for Melissa Gordon and Kyle Kurz, the team out of Manitoba, up over Rachel O'Connor and Ryan Abraham out of the Cornwall Curling Club in Prince Edward Island. So look here at Willie O'Ree Place. Two sides to this. We have lots of curling.
You want to be tight or you want to be...
And it's time for a power play.
You can't be halfway.
It's there.
Yes, Schmiemann and Ginter using their one and only power play.
Good move at this point because this is the next to last end, so it might be their last opportunity to. And they'll be able to keep play away from the 4-foot here and hope to score a multiple end.
And the fascinating thing about the power play, which of course is meant to be an offensive play, no question, but what we saw it evolve into at the Olympics certainly was a defensive maneuver to avoid giving up a steal in a lot of cases. Like you said, Kyle, take that play away from the 4-foot. So I think we'll see this evolve and the strategy evolved as we see in the traditional game. You know, when you're looking to steal, you put up the center guard. When you have hammer, you put up the corner guard. All these sort of things we've learned over the years about the strategy. I think we're going to see this power play used defensively in some cases as well.
Absolutely. Same as just like what you said when you bring in a 5-rock rule, for example, and how that changes how teams are throwing those first few rocks, which are so critical. And with it just being so new, there's so many new developments that we'll be seeing as it goes on. Great center guard there by Kim Tuck, though.
Tight guard, or a long guard.
Oh, yeah, well, I was thinking 20.
Yeah.
Sounds to me like they're putting up another guard.
I think that is the plan here. They are in the position where they are going to want to steal.
So here we go in the 7th. They are certainly ignoring those yellow rocks, and it's going to be either we talked about risk reward, right? We're seeing it in this end here. Going for broke, looking for that steal.
Sit. Sit.
Just goes sideways. So now that that fourth rock is thrown, that's why they really wanted that to be in line, because now that close center guard is totally exposed and hitting is now in play here.
No.
It's good. Okay. Thank you. It's a good throw. It didn't curl very much.
Yeah, it's a little sad.
Yeah.
Danielle, can they get these two?
Sorry.
Do you think they can get these two?
Like double them?
Yeah.
I don't know. You're the one that can see it from there.
Okay.
I don't,
You threw it. I was thinking you could.
he maybe has a third of it.
It's the discussion there about looking at trying to protect those two counters right now. How much is exposed? So
Got to cross center big.
Kim and Wayne are not going
you're
for
in,
it
Wayne.
here.
Where?
Figure in.
Getting
Where?
to be
Top
able to
12,
hear the
top 8.
players, I think,
Okay,
is the
finish
best
it.
part of watching this sport. I mean, we get such great access, being able to hear what they're thinking at every minute, and
Whoa.
it's
Whoa, I
a
think
great
it was
part
that
of the
heavy.
sport,
You got no
certainly.
handle.
Very
incredible
unique part
insight.
of the sport. Not any other sports that I can think of. Do you have someone with a microphone on in the game?
Play it
That's
good
it,
to roll.
right?
Yeah,
And I
we
think in a
feel like
lot of
that's
ways
fun
it
too,
makes
right?
Yeah, you want
curling
me-
fans
you want
feel
more
like they
medium?
know these people, and that's why you have such
medium, let's make it
strong
roll to the
ties to the fans and the players, because they get to
Roll to
know
the
them.
goal
They're
foot.
in their living
Yeah.
rooms. It's as if you're having a conversation with them, and you get to learn the game while you're watching.
So that draw by the Tucks over curls there. They aren't able to utilize that guard that they set up quite well. Jason's going to be able to come at it from the other side here.
Really hard. Whoa, whoa, other way.
Other
Rolling
way?
the other way. Rolling the other way. Big roll, big roll. Ah, okay.
Wow.
And
Didn't
so
mind
now
that
you've
throw.
got to play a freeze, right? Corner
Absolutely.
freeze, lock one on there, and
Try
things
and-
get really good in a hurry.
Try and hold on for dear life. Yes.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
No, if they get a good freeze here, it should put them in decent position. That
like,
one
set it
guard
up
is
that I was, like,
maybe a little higher than what they wanted, but still put them in a decent position here.
Okay, let's go.
And they'll need to lock it on, otherwise they're looking at 3 counters, no hammer.
And a lonely red stone.
It's like more.
Nope. Definitely not more. Where?
I think it's bumping.
Okay, well.
Watch the movement
okay.
right
It's
now.
all there, Wayne.
Yep, line, yep.
Bumping.
Whoa, whoa,
Bumping.
whoa. Whoa.
I know, but your handle and it's going sideways, so can't help that.
Not a lot of handle there by the looks of
Just play
it.
a tap.
With
He
that-
almost can't believe it.
Yeah, looks a little shocked, but if there is this little rotation on that rock, is what Kim believes there was, it goes straight sideways. And on this ice, it is very unforgiving.
Time out.
No, it doesn't matter. I'm not. Sorry.
Time out, please.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So I'm like, I can throw enough weight. If I throw hack, I could probably
Well, they're
do
still
something
just
to
doing
that, but then they come right back down to it.
If we
if-
peel, she's gonna have to. They're gonna have to move this,
Yeah.
right? Unless they
Well-
do this, but then we still probably have.
Best case scenario is for us to throw a little bit of weight, come down to it, do that.
I just don't know why we would leave that. They're gonna use it, right?
Yeah. I like peel. If you like
I
peel.
think I like peel. They either do this, which then we just blast it this way, or they have to do this.
Then you're gonna have a double
You have a
for
double.
a bunch. Yeah, okay. This way, probably.
Like that, like just,
Yeah, with the out turn.
yeah. I think I
Just
like
watch that guy.
Yeah, you should be fine.
Probably thicker. Will be good.
Yeah, half is fine.
Okay.
You want the out turn?
Really good conversation there. They thought about every situation, played it out, and I think they landed in a really good spot.
I definitely agree
give me
with
the
you. They
egg.
were discussing the opportunity of putting another one in there, but ultimately the best decision that they could have made was just to get rid of this guard here, because they do have hammer, And taking this away is going to really limit what Kim and Wayne are going to be able to do with their next shot.
Coupled with the fact that Danielle is curling 94% today and feeling invincible on the ice, talking about a double for a lot. And she probably wants that opportunity.
She feels very confident right now.
Yeah, roll it off if you can. Good.
Good throw.
Thanks.
So now a freeze or a tap.
That was good to talk about.
Looks like the tap they're going to be playing. Trying to just bump it back.
You're killing this.
Am I trying to remove that?
Yeah, you're throwing control
Sorry.
weight. You got to make a double for the game.
What kind of weight?
Control.
Okay.
Well,
they're
Wayne
gonna
has
go
a
for the
very
hit.
clear vision here of this.
Not mincing words, is
No.
he?
Yeah, realizes that this is another key junction here at this game.
I'm not completely sold.
His thinking behind this here is that if you play that lightweight and you still leave that back yellow in play, it could be the opportunity for the double that Danielle had discussed for a bunch. By doing this here, you'll be sitting 1 and 2. However, that double could still be available.
Good shot.
As good as she could have done.
But
You want to throw a big weight?
Yeah, I think so.
Feel?
an opportunity for our first multiple score end.
Or do you want to play back?
Sorry? That's still.
Yeah, I think that's good. We can hit it a little high and be okay.
Yeah, like 2 is good too.
Yeah.
Just get these 2.
So yeah, Danielle's not too concerned about this shot rock sticking around right now. The biggest priority is just going to be getting rid of those 2.
Biggest part of this shot right here is getting out to that broom. You get inside on this spot of the ice. We've seen it all day. It'll take off.
That being said, we've also seen some large weight shots that just tend to stick out there as well. So we'll have to see what happens.
The air is on the high side, no question.
Hard. Hard.
Again, a final stone from Schmiemann in the 7th.
Okay, I'm going to make the roll here.
Where does this end up? Well, a change
That's
of
good.
plan.
Yeah,
It is
sorry.
enough just for the 1. And Team Tuck catches a break. Only down by 3 heading to the 8th and final end. Look out. Got a good finish coming up for you on Sheet C. Well, those 2 stones shifted to the right could only mean one thing, and it's a Team Tuck power play needing a score of 3 just to extend this game.
Yeah, that's going to be really critical here to be able to keep that open and really be able to develop some play around the wings here.
But look at this, the tick shot.
This is an interesting play.
Yeah, no kidding, and it's executed pretty perfectly to open things up. And we're seeing this, of course, in the traditional game, in the 5-rock rule, and we're seeing tick shots played on center line guards or even corner guards. We're just seeing it all over the ice at any point in the game now, and there's also a debate raging on about that, about whether or not the tick shot should be allowed in the game, and curlers will always find a way to stay ahead of the rules, won't they?
Absolutely. It's a game that's always developing, and that's
Real
what
tight.
makes it so fascinating, too, at the
Certainly.
same time.
How's the weight?
But it's a long way back now for the Tucks, who were relying
Whoa,
on that
room.
corner guard and then bringing
room.
another around, and
Just like that, it's
Line's
gone.
good. Still got room.
exactly.
So you have to wait to the 4th thrown stone to remove a rock from play, but the shooter can roll out, as we saw there.
Yeah, go.
That's
Yeah,
a good
go.
point, Matt. Thank you
Go,
for
go,
that.
go, 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 Rachel,
And this
fast.
is a
Go,
great
go, go,
shot
go, go,
here
go, go,
from
go.
Kim to bury that one around.
That's pretty.
Playing a Mark Dacey
natural
kind of
right now.
shot there, bringing one around in the house.
What is natural?
Like coming off the side T-line one on your next one if we ever need to. Like that double is.
Oh, like this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, those rocks are lined up pretty nicely. Of course, they can't yet because this is
My
the
first
fourth
thought
rock.
was like edge of 8, maybe a hair less.
Edge of 8. Okay, a little less than edge of 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Puck's 14-6 on theirs.
Okay.
Well, it's a rare mixed doubles game when you see all those ones on the board. There hasn't been any multiple scores.
Great point.
There.
Not for lack of rocks being in play
No.
either.
Got lots of room.
Heavy.
This one has to move a
Come
lot.
down.
Back 8.
No. Wanna go through?
And hold
No,
on
we're back
here.
8.
If this one slides
If
back,
you can sit for third, that's okay.
the Tucks have a chance.
Okay.
It's not good.
First major miss of the day.
Almost have to bring another one around, don't you? Sort of Christmas tree them there. Look, after last end, when it looked like the Tucks were going to be shaking hands, they were even discussing it. They're loving where they are right now. They would take this,
Okay, just make sure
considering where they were just a few rocks ago, wouldn't they?
That's just how quickly
So I
this
still
game
think you're
can
looking
turn
at
around.
20.
All it takes is one shot, and we're seeing that now. A couple of little mistakes, and the Tucks could capitalize and really develop a good end here.
I wouldn't mind seeing extra curling.
Free
Not
of
at
mission,
all.
free of charge.
Yes, bonus.
A lot of shots have to be made before then.
Halfway.
It is a game of patience, though, isn't it?
It's
You
got to
get
stop.
frustrating,
Halfway
giving up
long.
steals,
Stop.
getting singles throughout the entire
Get
game,
bored.
and now an opportunity
just
presents
over.
itself.
Right on the logo.
Corner guard attempt
on it.
here. And it's just cutting, though.
Sit. Okay, Wayne.
Isn't that been the story of the game? You almost cannot believe how much ice you have to take on these guards.
Yeah.
There have been a couple of key missed guards today over curling. You have to commit.
You really do. You have to make sure that you're throwing it true to that line and allowing for that curl there. It can be very deceiving for a lot of these curlers.
Did you like the guard call there? I thought maybe there was an opportunity to bring another one in.
There is the opportunity there, but I think that what they were trying to protect was
Uh-oh.
a hit attempt, which we just saw here, a flash. So again, another little miss here, and it's could be a big opportunity here.
Good throw?
Straight wide.
Well,
I
this
didn't
is
mind
something
secrets. I thought you were just on the
that we
outside
haven't
the whole
seen
way.
yet from this team of Schmiemann and Ginter. 2 straight misses.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. That's a good idea.
And now the door wide open.
A little tighter.
Much better turn, though. Just clean it.
Wayne talking about his handle rotation, right? You have to have positive handle rotation on this ice.
Just
If you have a
inside
dead
that.
handle at all,
Easy.
or you're not spinning that rock with a good positive turn, it's just going to catch the curl and go absolutely sideways.
Sit.
So they're
Okay, Wayne.
playing that guard again. This one's pretty nicely placed, taking away that opportunity of that double there, which I think is really important for them to be considering right now.
Pardon me? What'd you say?
Whatever line
We're
you
in
took
for
on
a
your first
finish.
one, that
We
was good.
are.
Yeah,
Time
that
out
would
on
have
our
been
next
perfect.
one.
This is good stuff.
Yes, yes. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, you got it.
No.
Well done.
A big shot here for Jason Ginter.
So they'll be aiming for the freeze here on that shot stone that is in the back 8.
Touch light. Line's good.
Close.
Tight line.
Line only.
Tight line.
Line only.
Line's good.
Wait's good.
Line's good.
Gotta go wait.
Yeah, go hard.
Light.
Hard.
This is
Really
going
light.
sideways
Hard.
now.
Just top 8.
Hard.
Just top
Hard,
12.
hard. Bounce
Schmiemann
if you
just
can.
trying to get this into the rings.
The weight
Oh,
just
boy.
not
And that's
there.
pretty disastrous because not only does it come up light, it overlaps those guards and takes away a run back
Yeah.
possibility.
Yeah, that's a string of frustrating shots for Jason there, where they really lost some opportunities.
And what a turn of events here. Still shots need to be made.
You want to go bite the top 4 if you can. Full 8. Got to be third shot.
Team Tuck line 2.
Okay, let's go.
They are sensing something here, you can tell.
They're zoned in now.
And another switch from this team now with Kim throwing the last stone. They've gone back and forth in this game.
It's close.
Line's good.
It's all about feel, I think. You got to go with whoever's feeling like they can throw those really important and key shots here.
This is going to be a big sweep to get it past those top 2 yellow rocks. Here we go.
Hard! Really hard! Keep her going.
Is it enough?
Bounce it. Okay, it's good.
It is going to fall just ahead of them to count for the 3.
This one, hey?
But the key to that shot is to be third shot. They got that.
It's like on the yellow. We can
that'd be pretty hard.
And now it's going to be
So what do you think?
a run back.
Yeah. Schmiemann and Ginter call timeout.
2/3?
2/3, yeah.
What turn you want to throw?
Throw the out turn, I think.
Okay. Yeah. You go aggressive. Like cross face is probably not there. 'cause
Yeah,
you're
no,
jamming it.
I'd go into it.
But yeah, you just got to get it out of the 8-foot.
Yeah.
Really.
What do you think? There?
Sure. Do you want a sweeper this time?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's closer to center, so I have something to aim at.
Okay. So we're throwing peel.
Yes, I think so.
So that was right here with peel. You want a little less? for
Here,
your out
less.
turn?
Yeah, less. Yeah, that's better.
Well, Kyle has the crayons out.
So they're talking about running this one here, hitting about a third of it, which will run it back into this. And that should be a good double opportunity with each rock splitting out there. And they'll be sitting those 3 stones right at the top there, but we'll have to keep in mind that one on the side there still might be shot.
Well, this is for the game. I mean, she makes this double, it's game over right here.
We'll definitely limit them, that's true.
Yeah, Tucks need to have 3 here to force an extra end. So here's Schmiemann's last rock.
This rock has to curl a ton.
Whoa. Watch over the top.
Will it be enough? Not enough. And a chance for 3 here for Kim and Wayne Tuck and to go to an extra.
Whoa. They use a power play. They get a couple of misses. Here we are.
Shoot, that was a good throw.
Singles on the board all day, and when they need it the most, they have a draw for 3 in the 8th end. This is it.
This is a pressure shot.
Need full 8-foot.
They have had these pressure moments, winning in 2014 this tournament.
Opting to throw the intern here as opposed to what we saw Wayne throw on his previous one. Of course, the impact of that would be curling in towards that guard, which might get in the way for that one in the top 12.
Final stone need to be in the 8-foot to force an extra.
Sorry.
Look out. This is going to be close.
It's got to dig in.
This is going to be close. Is it enough to force an extra? And it is into the back 8. And a pressure cooker and a sigh of relief from Kim Tuck. We're heading to bonus curling. 5-5. Tucks, all business. Well, we are off to an extra end, but the other games have all wrapped up. There's a look at Sheet A. Kate Cameron, Reed Crothers, the Manitoba duo, out to a 3-1 start. There's a look on Sheet B. This one just wrapping up, so we will have an update on that score, but Jolene Campbell, John Morris hoping to avoid an upset there. Here we are, Sheet C, off to an extra. Schmiemann and Ginter with the hammer, and there's another duo out of Manitoba. Melissa Gordon and Kyle Kurz with a 9-5 win over Team PEI, Rachel O'Connor and Ryan Abraham.
Yep.
Bumping.
Okay, well then.
Got a good finish here.
Back four bump.
Whoa.
Can
Nope,
turn
coming
around
down.
in a hurry, and
Whoa,
it did for Team
Coming
Tuck.
down.
Off.
And that was a pressure last shot there. There was some doubt in everybody's mind if that was going to hang around in the 8-foot.
They were holding their breath, weren't they? But the nice thing about this ice is once it starts to catch the curl, it just puts on the brake. It went sideways. It sits in the back 8-foot. 3 on the board for the Tucks. 5-5 after singles throughout the entire game in a back-and-forth affair. I think this deserves some extra curling.
It really does. Both teams have played very well. Few missed shots from each side to be able to capitalize on some errors, but you're going to see a little more of that in the mixed doubles game here as well.
Mine's good.
Especially when you're not throwing that up weight very often in a game, and then you have to in a pressure situation with the ice the way it is, and we saw a couple of misses.
Exactly. We see a lot of precision shots.
Quickly on B, steal of 1 for Campbell and Morris. They avoid the upset and win 7-5 over the Sudbury, Ontario duo. Kira Brunt and Tom Leonard had to steal twice to
And you know,
secure
Matt,
that win.
yeah, and the thing about these national events, whether it be a Scotties or a Brier or a mixed doubles national championship, every great curler will ever tell you the key to winning it is winning some games ugly and avoiding some big upsets, and that's what this team, Campbell and Morris, does. But there are going to be games throughout the course of these marathon curling tournaments where you have to grind some out. Today was one of those.
And we're in one of these grind about style of games right here. Schmiemann and Ginter 3-0, Team Tuck 1-2. The record's coming in.
Yep. Okay, well, that's good. That's good.
Just to close the book on Jolene Campbell, John Morris, they're 4-0 so far.
They've played in a few events together this year, very quietly behind the scenes, and they feel very comfortable with each other. And that's a big thing when you get to these events, specifically in the mixed doubles game. It's a lonely island out there on the ice when there's only 2 of you and things start going sideways. How do you reel it back in? If the communication breaks down, you're doomed. I've seen it time and time again. You have to be able to get honest in a hurry in this game, and if you can't, you're not going to be the best.
It's so true.
Yeah. Ideally, just get.
And it makes for some uncomfortable moments on the ice.
Sure does.
Yeah. Probably have to try and run
We
it
could have had a uncomfortable moment there if that draw slipped into the 12-foot.
There certainly would have been some conversation.
Clutch shot, Kim, a champion, 4-time Canadian medalist, came through.
Long, halfway long.
Go then, yep.
Playing a guard again, and Kyle once again in this game.
Long.
Got to make this one.
This is going to be really important here. Lions seems to be okay. They aren't pounding it yet.
Well, right there is fine.
Right there. Sit.
Okay.
That's a pretty well placed guard.
Out again?
I think we'll see a couple of peels and a couple of guards, and then last shot drama here in the extra.
What more could you ask for?
Yeah, hard.
Throw the peel, get up, and sweep your own rock. Yikes.
Yeah.
Hits that a little bit on the nose.
Another miscue.
Oh, man. Okay.
Well, you're going to have to...
Fetch my ticket.
Well, there's our situation for Kim and Wayne Tuck.
One of my weakness.
Lots of
Just put a turn
fans,
on
of
it.
course, from across Canada.
Just put a turn on it.
Kim's parents,
weight.
Fred and Sandy, actually watching this game from Texas.
Outstanding.
And
let's go.
Wayne's parents, Wayne Sr. and Kathy, watching back home in Strathroy in Ontario with the kids. Kids were not able to make the trip this time, but had the pleasure of meeting Wayne and Kathy
Tight.
a few months
Halfway
ago
fine.
in Winnipeg.
Tight.
Anxiously
It'll slow down
watching,
when it
I'm
starts
sure
to curl.
now.
It's curling now.
Tight still.
Okay.
Top 12 even.
No.
They don't want that.
On its own. Line's
Just got to
fine.
put on the brakes now.
Okay.
That's fine there.
And they
We're gonna
are
take our
in
time out.
position to
just try to
steal
come
this
down.
one away.
Yeah.
Would that be better?
3 rocks left.
Would you
In a
rather-
game that
ready?
sort of feels like Danielle and Jason almost deserved a better fate. I mean, it felt like they were really in control of this game.
You know, they've controlled the
Throw some
scoreboard the
steam.
entire
Yeah.
time. A couple of steals
Oh,
early
no.
on,
At
which
least
tended
move
to
them
be
out a little
critical,
bit.
Well, no,
but
it might
it
not clip
can
the
come
yellow.
down to one shot, and that's what we
want
saw in
air
the
high
8th
for
end
yellow?
here with
That's fine.
Jason just
Leave it
missing a
right
few
there.
I think
key
that's
ones
fine. It's not
back
gonna
to
be
back,
away.
and the Tucks were able to take advantage of that.
Okay, go.
Yeah.
They're looking at the clocks now, 1:30. They start these
wait.
extra mixed
lot.
doubles ends
Okay, well,
with
that's-
3
we need
minutes
last bid
both
for
on the
field.
clock. And now
Okay.
Schmiemann and Ginter ticking below 1:20 now.
All you have.
They'll be looking to reposition the house here a little bit, running that back. Possibility to get their yellow even punched in for shot here onto that back one on the button.
Down to 1:05 for their last shot in this game.
Probably shooter, hey?
Up weight.
Good.
It's better.
Yep.
Does open up that path to the button. But of course, Kim and Wayne
Starting
here
right.
You
have a
give her a
chance.
draw.
Well, I gotta give it to her either side. So which side? This one's more of the button. What do you want me to play? A tap?
All right.
No, I was thinking more like getting it right here.
That's what I was thinking. Bringing it right down, top button.
I mean, we can leave her a draw. She's only hit the pin 6 out of 8 times.
Praise.
Who needs commentators when you have Wayne Tuck?
We'll
Whatever
just
you
let him
like.
have
He,
one
know,
like.
he knows the
I
percentages
kinda
in this
like the
game,
guard,
doesn't
but
he?
I'm
And it's a
fine
good
with whatever
point
you
by
want.
him as well. She
Well,
is
I mean, I think if you
Danielle
go
has made
here
a lot.
and make it really good, it's good. But if you chap, it's not the end of the world either,
Okay.
right?
So top 8. Is that what you're thinking? Or top 4?
Well, top button is great.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's on the same page, I think.
I think.
Well, this is Team Tuck's last rock in the 9th.
Mine's good.
Wait's close.
Extra
Okay.
end.
Would like to wait.
Certainly don't want to come
Wait's
heavy with
not
this
bad.
one.
A little heavy. Heavy, 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 heavy.
Where's heavy?
Heavy. Like
Go
back
then, yep.
4.
Gotta go by it. Yep. Gotta go by everything. Go, 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 go.
So deciding
Go.
for the plan B here.
Okay. Okay, okay, okay.
So a little much weight there. And it is going to leave that open draw
Sorry.
that we've seen Danielle make
What'd you
many
get?
times this
6
game.
out of 8 times, according to Wayne Tuck.
Our statistician.
Yeah, no turn has more
I
space.
liked it. If
Okay.
it curls a little sooner.
Same, probably, yeah, same ice I've been
You've
giving
been
myself.
taking here-ish.
So
Yeah,
it comes
sounds
down to
good.
this. On this very
Good.
swingy
got it.
ice, it's all about weight. If you throw it up at all on this side, it'll hang. If you're inside at all, it'll curl, and that's what Danielle Schmiemann is facing on her final rock to win the game.
Okay.
There we go.
So it comes down to this. You know the story, you know the numbers. One shot
Wait's pretty good.
Mine's good.
and a chance at a 4-0 start.
Go. Mine's
Touch heavy.
good.
Touch heavy.
Well then, room. Has to curl. No, line's good, line's good.
Now it curls.
Has to curl.
Looks
Hard
good.
line.
Will it be enough? No, it is not. And Team Tuck has stolen it.
Wow. It didn't make the late break at the end, and what a finish to this game here this afternoon.
It's a game of millimeters, and Team Tuck look to be out of it. Down 4-1, come back and steal it away in an extra 6-5 in a thriller. And we'll talk to the ever-entertaining Tucks right after this. A big win.
Before there was ice, there was our hallway at home. I was always the shy, quiet kid who loved math. But when I saw math come alive in the geometry of the game, I found my passion and my voice. It's a game of precision, a game of inches. It's the equation that now defines who I am.
Shorty.
6-5, Team Tuck stealing it in an extra. Down 4-1 at one point and a big comeback. Kim and Wayne joining me down at ice level. How did you two stay together facing a pretty big hole late in this game?
Well, we got down early, but we were missing just by a couple of inches here and there, so we thought if we could just maybe tighten it up a little bit and try to get on the other side, that we'd be able to get some points on the board and try and get it close.
We always enjoy your dynamic on the ice, and today was another great example of that, sticking together, lots of communication. We did notice as well the switch in roles throughout the game. Why did that happen, and what were some of the conversations?
Basically, we just did it for Devin, his debut, and we wanted to, have something for him to talk about. No, we just, we switch it up when one person's maybe struggling a little bit, and we were just off. I was off by an inch, just a little heavy on my rocks for the first three ends. So I thought, let me throw a 1 and 8 or 1 and 5, and maybe she can do a better job in the middle.
Well, a big win for you. 2-2 record now instead of 1-3. You know very well what it takes to win this championship. What does this win mean for your team?
Well, it keeps us in the hunt for sure, so every W counts here. We've had lots of good games with lots of really young teams, which is fantastic for mixed doubles. It's still great to see them playing, so keeps us in the hunt.
I know you have lots of friends, family, and fans watching. Any hellos?
Sure. Hi to my mom and dad and our kids, Tegan and Taylor. Mark, Ken, all the guys, Hot Rocks, everybody.
And I know you have some family in Texas as well.
Yeah, my parents are vacationing in Texas for the winters, so hopefully they got to tune in. And hi, hope you're having fun.
I'm sure they're cheering. Congratulations on the big win.
Thanks, guys.
All right, 6-5, Team Tuck, evening up their record now, 2-2. Have a quick check on some of the other finals here so far. Mentioned Kate Cameron, Reed Crothers, an 11-4 win over Team Linscomb, also from Alderton, Ontario, so they are 3-1. Mentioned Campbell and Morris stealing 1 in the 8, so they secure their 4-0 start, a 7-5 win over the team from Northern Ontario. Team Tuck had to score 3 in 8. They stole 1 in the extra end, 6-5, a thriller, our feature game on Sheet C, and then our last game on Sheet D. Team Manitoba, Melissa Gordon and Kyle Kerr, 9-5 winners over O'Connor and Abraham, so they stay in the hunt as well. Got a good one coming for you here, CBCSports.ca. Our next draw Draw number 9 starts at 4 p.m. local Atlantic time, and we'll take a look at the team out of BC. Desiree Hawes, Tyler Tardy off to a 3-1 start against a former Canadian champion with Jocelyn Peterman and Brett Gallant. A 4-0 start for them, so a 3-1 team against a 4-0 team. That's our feature matchup coming up in draw number 9. Lots more to get to as our coverage continues from Fredericton.